In this section, we're going to hook up Semantic UI to our project and add in just a couple class names here and there just to get a little bit better styling than what we have right now. That will allow us to just focus on actual functionality as we go forward, and we won't have to take any awkward pauses to do styling to make sure that our app looks at least somewhat reasonable. So to add Semantic UI to our project, we're going to go through that same kind of awkward process that we've gone through before. We're going to do a search for Semantic UI CDN. And then one of the first examples here will be cdnjs.com. And then on this page, remember we get this big list here. You can go down to the very bottom or just do a search for semantic.min. And you should see semantic min CSS. So I'll go ahead and copy that. I can then open up my code editor again, find the public folder, open up the index.html file inside there, and then I'll hook this thing up with a link tag. So I'll put a link inside the head with a rel of style sheet and an href, and I'll paste in that link like so, and then close off the tag. So same step that we've gone through with all of our other applications. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm going to save this file. Now if I flip back over to my application, I should see that I've got a little bit different styling here. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Whatever, we'll figure this out in just a second. Let's just add some class names and it will make this stuff look better. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to find my search bar. I'm going to find the top level div inside of here, and I'm going to give it a class name of UI segment. I'll find the form. I'll give it a class name of UI form. And then I'm going to wrap this input right here with a div that has a class name of field. And then just to be really complete, I'm going to give this thing a label as well. And I'll give it the label image search, like so. Okay, so if we now flip back over after saving this file, whoops, it looks like I got a little typo in there. I left off the closing bracket on the div. My mistake. So I'll save that again, and now I see this much nicer looking image search thing than what we had before. Now notice it is stretching the full width of the page, which looks just a little bit awkward. So to fix that, we can go back over to our app component, find the div that is currently wrapping the search bar, and to that div, I'm going to add a class name of UI container, like so. If I go back over, now we've got a much more reasonable width for the image search component, or that little kind of tab right there. Now, the last thing I want to do is make sure that we've got just a little bit margin at the very top to offset this kind of card-looking thing from the very top of the screen. So on my div with UI container right here, I'll just add in a manual style for right now. So I'll say style is going to be margin top 10 pixels, like so. We could definitely define this inside of a CSS file, but it would be a little bit of a waste to create a CSS file just for one simple rule like this. So I'm just going to define it in line on that div. Now if I flip back over, yep, that looks a lot more reasonable. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So let's take a quick pause here. Now that we've got something that looks good, we can focus on functionality. So when we come back to the next section, we'll talk about how we're going to handle user input whenever a user types into this text input right there.